Hey everyone, this is Adam Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology. Happy Monday, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at the Sun in Scorpio opposing Uranus in the sign of Taurus. This is an aspect that is coming through just after the new moon in Scorpio, which we spent quite a lot of time looking at last week. We also spent time looking at Mars opposite Uranus, wondering how you're all doing, having experienced all of that at the start of a new week here. It's been a lot. So we're going to start off today, start the week off by looking at the Sun opposite Uranus, which is coming through this early part of the week here. We'll pull up the real-time clock and look at it and give you 5 themes to consider as that aspect perfects to start the week. That's our agenda for today. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe, share your comments, reflections, stories in the comments section. If you want, you can find a transcript of today's talk on the website, nightlightastrology.com. We are also just 1 week away now from the start of the new class, Ancient Astrology for the Modern Mystic. Go to my website, nightlightastrology.com, click on the first year course to learn more about it. It starts Saturday, November 18th. So if you would like to join that program, it is not too late. And when you're on that page, you'll find out all that the program includes. 30 webinars on the year. They're all recorded if you can't make the live webinars and held for you on a class website. You can watch through or download from. All the materials in the class are kept on the class website for you to download, in fact, or just access through the site itself. We have breakout study sessions led by our staff. We have a staff that is there in a discussion forum you can ask questions of all year round. At the bottom, you'll find the payment plans. Early Bird saves you $500 off payment plan. You can spread it out over a year. And if you prefer that, or need-based tuition, we still have some spots available. It's not too late to sign up. So if you need a little bit of help and you'd really like to take the program, but you need a little bit of help financially to make it happen, we understand people are coming from different situations. Use the tuition assistance button, apply now. We'd be glad to work with you and get you enrolled for this coming weekend. I am also, as you guys know, this is actually the last week that I will be promoting Astrology Hub. So if you go to astrologyhub.com, you're going to find a couple of things that I think are also pretty cool. Go to astrologyhub.com. You can find all of their courses, podcasts, their different offerings are great. But I want to point you to the readings tab in particular, to Astrologer Connect, where if you want to get a reading, it is a quick, convenient way to book an astrology reading. And you can actually take a quiz to get matched with the astrologer on staff that would work best given your needs and values, like what kind of astrologer and experience you're looking for, what kind of topics you want to talk about. I took the quiz myself and thought it was really cool. I'm promoting this because until our service gets established, I get a lot of emails from people saying, hey, do you know who I could get a reading from right now since you have a longer wait time? As much as I want everyone to think, I think it's worth it to wait, because I believe my service is good, but also I know that sometimes people need a reading really quickly, and you can get one from Astrology Hub through their Astrologer Connect program, and their astrologers are really great. A lot of these folks are people I know personally, have worked with, have taught in my program before, or even in the case of a few people that have actually studied at Nightlight before. So I know these to be astrologers who are spiritually centered in the way that they look at and do astrology. And so I feel very good about sending people who enjoy my work and my channel, who are looking for a reading in quicker time than I have to offer at the moment, to this service. In fact, there's a lot that I admire about this service that's been going into the shaping of our own service. And so you'll hear more about that in the new year. But go to astrologyhub.com, and by the way, when you go, you can use the promo code ADAM15 to save 15% off when you book a reading over there. So, yeah. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm going to put the chart up on the screen and we'll take a look. So here we are at the beginning of the week, and you can see the Sun here, Monday, November 13th, is just about to come through the opposition to Uranus. Now, if I advance this by 1 day, you'll see that by tomorrow morning, the Sun has just passed through the opposition. And so that opposition is really perfecting today into tomorrow. But if you give it about a 3-degree separation range, then you're looking at an effect that's in the air all the way through Thursday of this week. And then don't forget, the big news is also that by the weekend, we have the Mars Cazimi and the sort of reset of Mars in its synodic cycle with the Sun. We're going to be spending more time with that as the week goes on. But today we're going to focus on 5 Sun-Uranus themes to watch for between now and middle of this week. So these are, again, in no particular order. These are the archetypal themes that are most, I would say that they're most prominent. You're going to notice one of these this week if you notice it at all. Of course, paying attention to the axis of Scorpio and Taurus would be a good idea, because that's the whole sign house axis across which the opposition will manifest in terms of the topics it activates in your life this week. So be sure to look at those whole sign houses. And then watch for these themes. Number one is the Sun and Uranus as a combination are enlivening, animating, and awakening. So where there is, let's just call it like a sleepy, lethargic, inert, bored kind of energy anywhere in your life, especially across the topical axis of Scorpio and Taurus again, you may notice that suddenly things are coming to life, that there is enthusiasm, that there is a sense of, it's almost like, you go into one of those cold plunges that's become more popular for therapy, and you get out and you're just like, oh, I'm awake. That's the Sun and Uranus. The Sun and Uranus combined bring this kind of illuminating, energizing quality. And that will be experienced, if nothing else, as, I feel awake again. Where I've been stuck, I feel motion. Where I've been feeling dead or bored, I feel awake and enlivened. Where there's been something that I've been doing that hasn't felt filled with life, now it's feeling filled with life again. It's been animated. So consider these qualities as an injection of life energy, life force this week. Now, sometimes that energy, when it comes through, because it's so powerful, can also make you kind of nervous or jittery. It can show up in ways that are, our nervous systems may find it a little hard to handle. And you may even find that you're becoming a little ungrounded. That's pretty normal. So if you're the kind of person who's very, very sensitive to the excitations of the Sun and Uranus, if you start experiencing that, it's good to do very basic things like, go for a walk, do your yoga or breathing or meditation, or play some music, or do some writing, or do some art. Do something that can bring you into a kind of peaceful flow state, and you'll find that the energy is less destabilizing. Sometimes the way that the enlivening, animating, and awakening of the Sun Uranus shows up is also through sudden events that happen unexpectedly. And those events serve to enliven and animate and awaken. And we have little control over that. So I certainly don't mean to suggest that we're in control of everything by recommending all of these exercises to ground the energy. I mean, sometimes it just doesn't matter what you do. The energy is just going to be like, whoa, and that's it. So, all right. Number two, liberating, freeing, and extricating. Liberating and extricating are sort of similar, but you may find that like something that you're entangled with, you're suddenly being broken out of. Uranus is pretty good when it comes to things that are a little restrictive, being broken open. Sometimes suddenly, sometimes with, sometimes structures will break suddenly. But there's a freeing of energy that comes with it. There's a sense of where you're trapped or stuck, or where there is some kind of conservative Saturnian force locking you in. Uranus has this way of making you feel like suddenly you're being freed or liberated. You're being set free, or you're being immediately and quickly disentangled from something that has had a grip on you. So watch for the kind of liberation that the Sun Uranus brings, which is one of its best qualities. Now, this could be also something that's very mental or emotional. You could just feel liberated and free or extricated from something emotionally. That would be totally normal. So the liberating and freeing side of the Sun Uranus can happen on internal, like if you've had ideas about someone or something, suddenly you'll find that if those ideas have been trapping you in a narrow way of viewing someone or something, that you'll be free from that narrowness and suddenly have a broader perspective. So Interestingly, that can often translate into becoming more compassionate. The sun has this sort of brilliant, noble, heart-centered quality that when it touches Uranus can become free from, like a bitter or resentful or narrow or limited or judgmental position. So one of my favorite parts about the sun Uranus is that I'll find that when that comes through, if there's some way in which I've been kind of constricting my heart through my mind, through my emotions, through my perceptions, that suddenly there's a releasing of that narrowness and rigidity. Number 3 would be defiant, rebellious, and revolutionary. Now, sun opposite Uranus can also show up as conflicts with authority, resistance to authority, clashes with authority that are, it's never comfortable to have some kind of, showdown with people who have power. But Sun Uranus can be a way of saying, I'm going to stand up for something that is right, or I am going to advocate on behalf of an ideal or a virtue that I believe in over and against some, kind of rigid or oppressive system or person. On the other hand, it can be an energy that shows up as defiant and rebellious in a more like neurotic or like pathological way. Like you like, what do they call that? Oppositional defiance disorder or something like that. I've heard that phrase, but it can be, in other words, it can be just amplifying some resistance that we have to authority, even if that authority is our own, or even if it is coming from a healthy authority, a coach, a mentor, someone, a therapist. I mean, anyone that's trying to serve as a healthy guide or mentor that we suddenly find ourselves resisting because we don't like the change that they're trying to bring into our lives. You want to think about the sun opposite Uranus as presenting at least a few possibilities for polarization. And one would be that we resist or defy someone or something that's actually good for us, an authority, a source of wisdom or guidance that is trying to help us, that we are resisting because we don't want to change. And that might sound counterintuitive because you think of the sun Uranus, you usually think about a freeing, liberating kind of quality. But if we are resisting the source of wisdom that's trying to help us, then we have another sun Uranus situation, but kind of the shadow of it. So number 4 would be a rapid transformation of ideals and ambitions. You have to remember that the sun, broadly speaking, is like the representation of the ideal forms in the Platonic world, the ideal forms in the mind of God, the perfect triangle, the perfect career, whatever it is that we imagine as the ideal image that we hope to reach or embody or inhabit. I want to be the best dad. I want to be a great spouse. I want to be an awesome astrologer. Those are the things that I think about, like how can I be the best dad I can be or something. And that's a very solar way of thinking. I'm looking at some ideal of what it means to be a human, or an ideal vision for, a community, or an ideal vision for an institution or a business or something. Whatever those ideal images are, they go through periods of transformation where we refine them or we adapt them or they change completely. One of the times during which such transformations of our ideals occur is when the sun and Uranus get together. So a rapid transformation of ideals and ambitions. You could see that circumstances around you are happening to serve that process as well, that somehow circumstances are conspiring to transform your ideals, transform your ambitions, or even your highest values that give you some kind of template toward which you aim your life or your efforts. So when the sun hits Uranus, they rapidly transform, or almost like they go through like random mutations. Sometimes circumstance will cause that to happen, and it won't happen right away. It'll take a little bit, but watch for circumstances to be doing that work or starting that work this week. And number 5 is inspiring and illuminating. The sun Uranus quite literally can show up when all of a sudden you have epiphanies, realizations, moments of, we said awakening earlier, but this would almost be like intellectual, or like your higher intelligence is seeing something clearly. This could be creatively. If you're an artist, you might suddenly see the big picture of where you're going with a project that you're working on. Or as a musician, you might suddenly grasp a technique or understand something that you hadn't seen or understood before. So the um, the ability to grasp something, or for moments of epiphany and illumination, mentally, intellectually, philosophically. One of the most exciting parts about the sun Uranus is the power that it has to help us, um, for us to understand things or learn things that we haven't been able to before. Sudden illumination, and often it is very sudden. It's like a lightning bolt striking, and suddenly I see something. So these are the sets of themes to watch for this week: enlivening, animating, awakening, liberating, freeing, and extricating, defiant, rebellious, revolutionary, a rapid transformation of ideals and ambitions, inspiring, and illuminating. Don't be surprised with the sun in the mix if there is dad karma, because the sun is often associated with the father. And so the themes may include something around father figures, or paternal images, or anyone that represents a king, a CEO, a boss, a leader, a source of higher wisdom or intelligence. And such people that play those roles may also be featured in your experience this week. So watch for that as well. We have a lot to go through this week. In a week from now, my annual Kickstarter will begin. So for the last 40 days or so of the calendar year, every year I do a Kickstarter as a way of raising funds to support the free content that I make year round. This is my 10th annual Kickstarter. So this is our 10th anniversary. And I will be telling you more about all of the rewards. We have a bunch of really cool rewards that we're offering when you donate next week. Our goal this year is last year we had 1,776 backers. 1,776 was an interesting number. And then, so this year our goal is to just see if we can do one better, hopefully even more, but we always just see if we can just grow our support a little bit more every year in terms of the audience out there who pitches in. All of our classes will be on sale. You'll be able to pick up my book if you want to my new book through the Kickstarter, and there'll be a bunch of other rewards too, and massive discounts on all the things that I offer through my programs and stuff like that. So I'll tell you more about that later in the week, and that'll be launching next Monday, I guess. So don't forget, in the meantime, last chance to enroll for the year 1 program that starts Saturday is this week too. So all right, well, we'll see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.